Today on episode 84, our Ron Morris episode of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, the Sports Minute, our media recommendations, new segment, presidential debate, I.U.Is, over-unders, and the TCF top 3 horror movies. Let's roll. Hello and welcome to episode 84 of Typical Chicago Fans. It's me, your boy Boomy, on Twitter at BoomyTCF. Make sure to follow the main page at typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook and Instagram, type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us there. Make sure to like those pages as well. Head on over to the YouTube page and subscribe there for all of our content in video form. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts and follow us on Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your podcasts. Make sure to subscribe to us there. And make sure that you follow the guys that I'm joined with tonight. We got Zach at ZLiliaTCF and Maddie at schools_01. Tonight's episode is brought to you by our friends over at 26shirts.com Chicago. Head on over to their website, 26shirts.com/Chicago, to check out the coolest Chicago sports merch around. They've got everything from t-shirts, the hoodies, the flags, whatever you need, they have it. Head on over to their site, find the product that you love. At checkout, use promo code Typical Chicago Fans for 15% off your order. If you love our show, love a great piece of Chicago merch, and love helping out good causes, like I said, head over to 26shirts.com/Chicago and pick up some items, help out the podcast, and make sure you use promo code Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off your order. Boys, how are we doing tonight? October is almost over. How are we feeling?
Feeling good. The fall season has arrived. We got World Series on. Sports are starting to come to an end. But, boys, I kind of see a Sunday coming up here. We'll have, like, NFL, the Masters. I mean, the sports just keep coming back. I think sports-wise, starting to feel back to normal. But weather-wise, not the biggest fan of some of we went from 70 degrees one day to 40 degrees the next. So I'm not the biggest fan of Illinois weather. I'm not looking forward to it. They say snow might be arriving here on Monday.
It snowed the other day.
Like that. Do not like that at all. But overall, I've been good, Boomy.
Well, good, man. I'm glad. Like I said, I think we got a little bit of snow earlier this week, but obviously nothing that stuck to the ground. It's going to get even crazier. I remember a couple of years ago it did snow on Halloween. It's just kind of far.
Maddie. I think we have Maddie live from the stairs.
Maddie from the stairs.
I'm having Wi-Fi signal problems, boys. I'm gonna have to do some covert ops here while the show's going on. Try to get the signal boost here going. I don't know what.
Everybody's gonna get a free tour of Maddie's house, so make sure you.
This is new internet. Oh no, the camera's getting popped off here real soon. There's toys everywhere. This place is an absolute mess right now. So I can't.
Well, you have a small child, so it's completely understandable that there's toys everywhere.
I can't put that out on public right now, so you're not gonna get the best of me tonight. It's not looking like, boys, but I'm gonna do what I can here. So we'll just
what a walk here. It's like, was it Willis Reed came out from that injury? Maddie is the Willis Reed of the Typical Chicago Fans podcast. We're going to have to get that turned into a shirt. But, yeah, absolutely, Zach, like you said, sports are kind of fading. But, we're going to get into it in the Sports Minute. Maybe the NBA is coming back sooner than we had maybe hoped. So we'll have to wait and see. But let's get into it, as always, sinkers and floaters. My sinker, I'll start off, guys, is Santa Claus. And I didn't even think about this. This is something that I saw an article on.
Take it easy.
Just wait a second. But I didn't think about this. In the COVID era, kids are not going to get to sit on Santa's lap and do their, like the normal things that you did as a kid. And that's kind of sad. And, obviously it's not really going to affect us as adults, but, we all have, Matt's got kids and we got, nieces.
How do you know I don't just go to the mall and get my picture with Santa Claus?
I wasn't going to throw that out there. It's always been a suspicion of mine that maybe you did, but hey, listen, I'm not here to judge. So, if you do, that's perfectly fine. But you have, nephews, Zach. I got nieces and nephews. It is kind of weird that they're not going to get that as kids. It does hurt my heart just a little bit.
Yeah, mine too. My sinker, it's going to be a sinker definitely for me and Boomy. Golf season. I think I might have played my last round. I think it was, what was that, Monday?
No, it was like Wednesday, I think.
Wednesday.
No, Thursday, because I was at your house that night.
And it's just one of those things with COVID going on. You really can't do much other than I have golfed more this summer than I have ever in my life. It's one of my things that you look forward to doing all the time. And
Yep.
I don't know how long the course will be open per se. I don't think the weather will be nice enough here, even the next few weeks. Who knows? But I'm going to miss golf. But I'm excited. Maybe do a little virtual golf. I've been seeing that's kind of cool. Get into that. But golf season is coming to an end.
Zach, and I don't know about you. I don't know what your last outing was, but my last outing was not very good. I shot in the mid to upper 90s. I almost feel like I need to go out and play another 18 just to throw
It's
a
just
score in
snowing
the
out,
mid.
and Boomy's like, I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
I feel like I might just have to brave the elements and just go play around to shoot, mid to upper 80s and just keep playing until I get a score that I can end the year positively on. I don't know, man. That's just my dumb brain, though.
You do what you gotta do.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to end the year on like a score of like 97, 98. You want to end the year on like an 85, 86, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. Matt, do you have a stinker? I know you're running around like a madman.
It's my internet. No, it's today it's fall yard waste. I had to do a shitload of yard work today, boys, and it sucked. Leaves, grass clippings. I had to cut the grass because you got to get the fertilizer down. Well, I got one tree that decided to already shit off all of its leaves already. So this thing had probably, I don't know, it felt like 3 or 4 inches deep of leaves just in one stretch of my yard.
Yeah.
So that took about a half hour alone. And I don't have that big of a yard. So normally it's maybe like an hour to cut my grass and everything. And it was like about a 2.5 hour project today with grass clippings and leaves. I had 7 bags of yard waste, and the Dodgers just took the lead. God damn it. I hate
Yeah,
the
my
Dodgers,
buddy
boys.
told me to live bet the Dodgers. I didn't. I'm mad
God.
at myself. I'm very mad at
I hate
myself.
Matt,
I hate this team so much, dude.
you're a better man than me, Matt. I had a bunch. I need to mow the yard one more time,
Me too.
and I got a bunch of plants I need to rip out before the winter comes. But
I've
today
gotta get-
instead,
I've got to get.
I got to shout out my buddy John though for the bag of fertilizer that he hooked me up with. That was came through in the clutch. I didn't have to pay much for that one. So
I feel like if I get all the leaves the next day, boom, they'll be back again.
that's what I'm saying. I've got like 3 trees that haven't lost anything, and I know I need to
waiting
mow.
them out.
And
I'm waiting them out.
Yes, and I could have easily have done it this morning, but I decided to watch like 3 movies down here in the cave instead. So
Hey, the weather it's cold. It was kind of a nice day out per se. The sun was out, but
like still, like I looked and it was like 47. I'm like, I'm not gonna go out there and freeze just to mow the yard. I don't know. Laziness got the better of me. I'll jump right into my floater, which is 5G internet. I watched a video and read an article yesterday that says that they are working to install 5G internet on the moon. So there's going to be better internet on the freaking
that's ridiculous. What?
Than there. It is. Well, I agreed at first, and then actually one of my very, very smart 6th grade students was like, well, if we're going to send astronauts to the moon, they need to be able to access the internet to communicate things. So I get that, but there's going to be better internet on the moon.
They get 4G up there.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
they could suffice, I'm sure, with 3G when there's like them and 3 other people. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I think
that we know of.
3G
that we know of
on it, so it just just smothered the network.
Yeah, it is insane. We obviously have talked on here about internet issues.
Let me. I want to hear the price tag on that maneuver.
Well, NASA's involved, so it's got to be billions of dollars.
Yeah,
imagine an Instagram live from Mars.
Right. Yeah. No, that's what's crazy is like, like awesome. They're literally going to have better internet on on the moon.
The new emoji graphic is like, NYC to LAX to the moon emoji.
Yeah,
just like the plane's taking you there.
It is insanity. It blows my mind.
My floater is sweaters, puffy jackets. Boys, we are here in the season of nice. And maybe throughout the summer, COVID, put on a little weight. Like I say, golfing really doesn't make you do a lot of exercising, whatever. You put on that puffy jacket, you put it on the crew neck, you put on layers, makes you feel good, boys. I like
It's us thick boys' time to shine.
Oh,
Like I rock a hoodie and a jersey all the time in the summer.
all day, every day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
this is absolutely my part of the year right now. It starts from now, ends in February. It's like clockwork, couple extra layers, and all of a sudden I just look smooth. I don't
Yeah.
look like a bowl of oatmeal anymore.
That's why I don't live in
Amen.
California. That's why I don't live in California because I can't pull the attire off, the outfits.
And it's like, I don't know, for like a garage, it's about $300,000. So it's like you might as well just...
for real.
That's also true.
It's stupid. Absolutely stupid. My floater is eBay, boys. And I know I'm the old guy in this group, and I know I'm probably the one that's probably, you would assume I live on eBay. Well, I just made my first eBay purchase of my life.
That is insanity.
Ever?
Yeah, ever.
Matt, this jersey is from eBay.
See, you learn something new every day.
Half of the stuff in Boomy's house is probably from eBay.
There's a lot of stuff.
Really if you took it, like I would say, like about 70% of my house is Amazon. But yeah, so I bought an old school Nintendo game that I had my eye on for a long time. I've only seen it for like upwards of $100 normally. It's pretty rare, and came across it for like $50 there. So guy says it works. He has a good rating, so I took a shot. So shout out eBay, helped me find something
what game is it?
For a while. It's a Dusty Diamond Softball on Nintendo. It's the absolute greatest baseball simulator on the Nintendo, without question.
That's awesome.
This very random football helmet I have.
Go talk to Clem and what was the other guy? Joey Langone. They were talking about that game not too long ago with Brandon Walker on Twitter. Pretty funny.
Boomy, when is the TCF logo going to go on that thing?
Buddy, listen. All right. It's been a work in progress for about 5 months, and I have not made any of it.
Boomy's going to have it looking like the Steelers, where it's only the logo on one side.
It does fit me, though.
Just do the logo on one side, solid black on the other.
Oh, it kind of hurts. But yeah, that's from eBay, Matt. I'm a big eBay guy.
I can see you being like Jonah Hill in 40-Year-Old Virgin when he brings in the boots to the eBay store.
I forgot about that.
He tries to buy them, I think. Isn't that what he's like, trying to buy those weird-ass boots?
Yes, I do. Yes. eBay is amazing. You can find whatever you need on eBay.
How legit are the ratings is what I really need to know. Do they actually hold up? Like, can you actually trust them?
I would say 50-50.
All right.
I'll be honest. I'd say between 80 and 90% I would trust.
Okay.
Because some of them are people just like, anytime you sell like even the most minor thing, as long as it is what it is, if it's like a $5 item, people will give you 100%, like 5 stars. But you kind of got to take it with a little bit of apprehension. So, but yeah, eBay is great, especially for jerseys. A ton of my jerseys are from eBay.
Love it.
So it's like the truck. It's just like buying it off the back of the truck.
Yeah.
Just don't ask where they got it from. That's probably your best policy.
Just wash it. Wash it right when you get it.
It's just a little grimy is all. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. You can get a football helmet for $22.
It's like it's one of those ones that they had to dip in water and wring out, and that's how they get all the coke out of it and everything.
You got to do what you got to do.
Sell the leftover rag for $30 on eBay.
Maybe I should do a whole episode where I wear the. Once I get the helmet done, I'll do a whole episode where
I want to see a catalog of eBay jerseys that Boomy's bought. Is what I really want to see.
Oh, I already about 8 of them. Actually, I've been big on Mercari lately. I've already bought like 3 jerseys.
I came across that website too in my search. Is that legit?
Mercari is the best.
God,
the best
see,
for
that would
like
seem
jerseys
so
and stuff.
sketchy.
No, I've never had any problems with Mercari. Other than the Angels jersey that I bought that didn't have a front logo, but it's because I didn't read the caption correctly.
When I have no clue how to pronounce the name of the website, I'm #done. That's no one.
I love it. I'm a big fan. I use it all the time. But let's move on to the TCF Sports Minute. Obviously, like Zach said earlier, the World Series is in full force. The Dodgers are up 2-1 as we are recording this, but they are also leading Game 4, 7-6 in the 8th inning. Do the Rays stand a fighting chance here, boys? It's almost getting to the 11th hour. It starts to worry us a little bit.
They're staying in this game. I mean, if this game's over with, I mean, I know. I think 3-1 Dodgers. This lineup, it's going to be pretty hard to come back from that. But they got 2 more innings here left, and then I mean, the Dodgers they have 14 hits tonight. They are the lineup is hitting on all cylinders right now.
To Game 5 projected, Clayton Kershaw is supposed to pitch Game 5. If he can give another performance like he did in Game 1, the Rays are going to have to make a decision based on whether they win or lose Game 4. Obviously, who do you go to try to stay in the series? So it'll be interesting to see if they can put up a little bit of a fight, because this Dodgers team, like you said, Zach, they've got the pitching so far and the hitting has been incredible.
They're playing unbelievable, and it's just the whole lineup is good.
Yes, like literally, like 1 through 7 are what we would consider like above average hitters.
Yeah.
That's deep. That is very deep. Let's look at Mookie Betts, Corey Seager, who I believe hit another home run tonight to tie him. To tie him with the most home runs in a postseason. Justin Turner, who's a stud, Max Muncy, Will Smith, Cody Bellinger, AJ Pollock, and then Kike Hernandez. That lineup is stacked. I mean, up until Cody Bellinger, who hit 7th. I mean, AJ Pollock's okay. And then they sub in Jock Peterson, and like Chris Taylor, even those guys, coming off the bench, they're damn good, and their pitching is hitting the spot right now. Kershaw obviously kind of had a bounce back in Game 1 from what he has been in the past in the playoffs, but this team is just kind of hitting on all cylinders right now. It's very difficult for me to see a situation where Tampa comes back and wins this series if they fall tonight in Game 4.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough road back for them because this Dodgers team, the pitching is good. You got Clayton Kershaw going in Game 5, so a nice little closeout game for him if they end up winning this game. And like I said, their lineup, it is almost unstoppable.
Almost, yeah, you're spot on. We've talked about this in the past. The NBA, we still don't know to this day when the NBA is going to officially come back.
February or March. I'm thinking March.
Yeah, and then it comes out this week that they have been in talks with the Players Association and obviously within the league to possibly bring it back by Christmas. I personally think that Christmas is
I don't think that's possible.
That seems like a reach there.
Yeah. I think what they're trying to do is set it super early so that they can compromise at like the end of January or the middle of January. But wouldn't that be great to start? Obviously, we've seen it talked about on many different sports outlets that the NBA really should start on Christmas. This might be their chance to dabble in it if they can make it happen.
No way Kyrie Irving signs on board for a Christmas Day start. No way. He'll probably start another league by Christmas Day before he plays in an NBA game on Christmas Day. I don't know. That whole situation, I don't know. I just don't think there's any way that they can really get a schedule, they've got to get the draft, they've got to get a free agency period done. Mm-hmm. They've got to, I mean, Christmas is like what?
2 months away. 2 months away.
Weeks away. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And literally just got done, what, a week ago?
Yeah, 10 days ago, I think.
That seems like a little bit of a reach. I don't know. I think March 1 seems like a good target date.
The only issue that the NBA is going to run into is that they have to finish this. They don't have to, but you got to finish it by the Olympics, because obviously the Olympics got pushed back to 2021. So I think
you tell the Olympics to go fuck themselves. But personally,
you pull the NHL and say, we're just not letting our guys.
Yeah, we're just not going to do it. But I would say if you're done with the season if you can get it done somehow by August 1st, you can get back on your original cycle of like early November to June, late June at that point.
It's crazy how a lot of these sports are going to have to just like it's almost like
clocks are going to have to be reset.
It's like a sleep schedule. You're going to have to fix your sleep schedule.
You think about some players who are going to lose like maybe like a good stretch of maybe the primes of their career. Baseball player just lost 100 games this year of his, ability to possibly increase their value, whatever it may be.
Even players on teams that didn't make the bubble, like they didn't get to see the rest of their season.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfinished season for some guys.
Like the Bulls, who have, a whole front office turnover, coaching staff turnover.
And we didn't want to see the Bulls play, but those guys still wanted to get some play. They wanted to get out there and play. They didn't get to finish their season. Like
probably
a lot of those teams are going through that.
Give Wendell Carter time to get healthy, at least, hopefully.
Yeah, that's true too. And to get a new coach.
It definitely helped in that case. Let's move into some college football. We are recording this Saturday night. We had college football going on all day.
Big Ten is back.
Yep, the Big Ten is back, and so is Rutgers. Their first Big Ten win since, I believe, 2017, maybe? Since November 4th, 2007.
Against Michigan State, too. You got to love it.
Yes. Michigan State
stinks. That guy sucks, dude. I don't know how he got that job.
They're bad. I mean, Rutgers is not a good football team. It was at Michigan State. They win 38-27. We had last night, Friday night, Illinois getting, breaks beaten off of them by Wisconsin. And then I don't know if you guys saw Ohio State was in a tight one there at halftime. They were up, I think, 10, and then kind of opened up and blew the doors off of Nebraska. That game finished 52-17. Big bounce back win for North Carolina after they got embarrassed at Florida State last week. They beat NC State 48-21. It's one of those. It's great to see. The other big upset, Indiana taking down Penn State at home in overtime.
I love that. That was an awesome game too. If you did watch that, was awesome.
I hate to say it, but Notre Dame looks pretty good.
Whatever.
They're playing the ACC.
I hate Notre Dame.
I was listening. I always forget that one. I think it's 1000 is like the Notre Dame station for their football game. I was listening to it today. I don't know.
I can't do them.
Can't do
Notre Dame.
Yeah, trust me, I don't like them, but I mean, everybody's joined a conference. They join a conference, and now they're blowing the doors off everybody. So it does, it is a weird year. So I'm kind of taking it with a grain of salt, but I shouldn't even say blowing the doors. They only beat Louisville 12-7, but it's one of those that in maybe one of these weird years they can, finagle themselves into the Final Four again and maybe win the game. I don't know. It's going to be good for TV ratings.
I'm just not a fan, Boomy. I'm just not a fan.
I'm with you, man. I hate Notre Dame. I've never liked Notre Dame. I never will. But the other one, Jalen Waddle out for the season in Alabama as they roll Tennessee.
Broke his ankle?
Is that what it was? I thought it was an ACL.
I think it was something with his ankle because I think he kind of got rolled up on or something like that when he brought the ball out. Which Nick Saban says, "Why did you bring the ball out?" Like, come on, dude. What do you get? I'm not a fan of the guy. Nick Saban. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't. I don't think it's a character, but I can't tell. Like, he kind of has that Bill Belichick kind of.
Yeah, well, that's his best friend. They're tight, so makes a lot of sense.
And
he wins.
How'd you like to go on vacation with those two guys?
No, thank you.
Pretty fun. They are very rich.
I'd rather go on vacation with Zach like we did this summer.
Yeah, hey. That's very true.
At least we had a good time. And the last one I have is Michigan back. They beat the hell out of Minnesota at Minnesota today, 49-24. Can we believe in Michigan?
No.
No.
I don't think
Nobody in
Minnesota
the
is
Big
very
Ten plays
good.
defense. Apparently, the Big Ten's going the Big 12 route now. And it's just like pull the doors
Until
open.
Jim
Everybody,
Harbaugh beats Ohio State, I don't believe. That's just it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
That's
ever beat Ohio State.
one other thing I had.
they're not beating Ohio State this year. Ohio State's
No.
I'm just saying that's why I'm
The
saying
only
they're
team
not
beating
back.
Ohio State is Clemson this year. And Clemson
Maybe.
struggled with
Maybe.
Syracuse today.
Well, Clemson struggles with people that they don't care about.
Yeah, you're right.
Still
Well,
think
except for last week.
Alabama could.
It's
Yeah,
Alabama.
I think you got
Alabama, Clemson, definitely, but it's Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. And
I can't wait till we get to if they are doing it, a Final Four where Notre Dame somehow sneaks in and then just gets punked by Alabama or Ohio State.
They would
Like-
get absolutely destroyed by either of the three of those teams.
They
It'd be a
got
40
beat by
burger.
Alabama that one year. That was awesome.
Oh,
I can't stand Notre Dame. Anytime that I can see them get their doors blown off is just fine with me.
sign us up. And last thing I had, Ole Miss falls to 1-3. Lane Kiffin's a stooge. Auburn's not even that good. I don't know. I hate Ole Miss. I hate Lane Kiffin.
The SEC is pretty weird this year. It's just gonna be pretty much Bama.
Yeah, I think so too. Georgia's good, but obviously they showed
Auburn got bailed the fuck out again though too. There was a punt that should have been a muff punt. It hit the guy's finger. The ref they didn't call it on the challenge, so it would have been Ole Miss ball like inside the 20 on a tie game, as opposed to Auburn getting the ball and then they marched down, scored, and then Mississippi had to come back and try to tie it. So they kind of got railroaded a little bit. Auburn gets another break. It seems like Auburn, every time they win, they catch a very questionable call to help them out.
Well, as a Florida fan, I hate them both. So
I hate Auburn.
For sure.
I hate everybody tonight. I'm hating on a lot of teams.
I was going to say, Maddie is full of hate tonight.
Yeah. Well, it's the Wi-Fi. It's all this shit.
For
It's
sure.
the Dodgers.
It's 2020. That's all you have to say. It's all you have to say.
This sucks, dude. This year sucks. The Dodgers, bruised our greater all of his celebration. Okay, dude, chill out a little bit.
He was pumped. He was pumped.
It was a pop-up, dude. It's not like he blew the guy's doors off. Did you see this guy?
Yeah.
All right, boys, let's jump into our media recommendations. Like we said, this could be a podcast, movie, TV show, what album, whatever you want, talking media-wise. I'll get us started in this because Halloween is coming up in a week. I'm going to go with some 90s horror movies that are on Amazon Prime Video. I've got Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and an underrated horror movie.
What kind of horror movies are you watching, Boomy?
Let's get that second R in there. Horror movies. I just want to make sure we're enunciating very clearly tonight.
I apologize. Horror.
Scary movies.
Scary movies. There you go. But I've been on a 90s scary movie kick. Like I said, Scream. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I watched that for the first time earlier today. And then one of my favorite 90s scary movies, Urban Legend, is actually, to me, one of the underrated. I know it's not a great movie as far as like quality, but I enjoy it. So I will go with those 90 scary movies.
I am going to go with, I think Boomy has been listening to this podcast. It's the This Is Important podcast. Hilarious podcast. It's got Kyle Newacek, Blake Anderson, Adam Devine, and Anders Holm. They were all, well, the three of them were all in Workaholics, but Kyle Newacek was the guy who wrote.
He was also like the weird neighbor that always showed up at the house.
Carl.
Yeah. Yep.
Carl, the drug dealer.
Yes, that's right. They don't talk about anything important. Like it's called This Is Important. It is just the most random, nonsensical.
They don't ever talk about the Workaholics, but they are just a hilarious bunch of guys talking to each other. I think Adam Devine is one of the funniest people.
His stand-up is super funny too.
Yeah,
that's a great.
He's like a naturally funny person.
Yes, absolutely. Him talking about like when he got hit by the cement truck and like living life, not being able to use his legs was just pure comedy gold.
Unbelievable. Maddie?
I was just going on to Netflix because I couldn't remember the the formal name of it, but it was the new series that the Netflix started on the Challenger, the space shuttle that exploded in the mid '80s, and I just got through the first episode. I think I want to say there's 4 or 5. It's like a limited series, is how they tag it or whatever. But I just finished the first one up. Very interesting, very cool. It's kind of a mix between the docudrama kind of thing where they do the dramatic play out of it over like the true storyline. So, and obviously it's a historically significant part of American history. So it's very very intense kind of first episode. Kind of shows a lot of the emotional side of the explosion, the accident, the aftermath when it took place.
Matt, you don't remember the Challenger explosion, do you?
No, not that.
I was going to say that had to be like you were probably what, like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I just finished my first tour at NAM, and then
You're actually
No,
65 years old.
that was what, 86, right? Or 80,
Yep.
like January of 86. So that was I was 3. So it was right when the
Yeah.
Bears won the Super Bowl too. January of 86.
Oh, wow.
I want to say that the Bears might have been, there was something like some sort of a tie-in, I believe, with the Super Bowl. I think it was right around the same time of year. When like there was like maybe I don't know, like the Bears going to the White House or something like that.
I did not know that. You guys got anything else? Any extra to add for the media recommendation?
I heard that.
I'll have to check deeper on that. I did not know that there was a connection there.
Check me.
I got you. Man, there's so much good stuff. There's one, we have HBO Max right now, and there's a docu-series about this high school football player that got charged with like rape or something. And it was talked about on the Dog Walk podcast. They talked about it a while back, but I just found it. I bookmarked it. I'm going to watch it. And then it comes out obvious like he didn't do it and kind of how it's messed his life up. But I will watch that this week and report back next week. You guys got any other ones that
I'll say it again. Succession. I think it's one of the best shows I've ever watched on HBO. So I'll keep saying that. Other than that, I cannot think of much.
I fact-checked myself, boys. I'm sorry, but I have to chime in here. The Bears were supposed to go to the White House after the Super Bowl. They didn't because of the Challenger.
Okay.
And then,
now that sounds familiar.
So it was when Obama was in
Makes
office.
sense.
We had the '85 Bears go then. So that's our tie-in. So I knew
that's
there was something.
right.
I knew there was something. My bad. I'm sorry, but
makes sense. Makes
Before
perfect sense. Let's move on to a new segment. Obviously, this week and the election coming up in 2 weeks. We had the presidential debate this week, and I watched it at Zach's house with him. And we're going to do our own
first presidential debate I've ever watched, ever.
That's wild. I love presidential debates, especially the first one was comedy.
This one was even more whatever.
But we're going to do our own presidential debates, and we are going to pick 2 characters, 2 people that we want to see have a debate, whether it's a sports personality or whoever. We're going to pick 2 people that we want to see have a presidential-like debate. Do we have anyone that wants to volunteer to go first?
Maddie's been excited, so you can go first.
I'm going a little off the grid with mine tonight, boys, and it's a little mix of real, fake, and the like. So my first one is going to be 2 real sports figures, and it's Bill Belichick and Greg Popovich. I think you get either somewhere, you might get like electric, like, an electric factory of comments, something extremely enlightening between those 2 guys. Or you may not be able to understand a word either of them says. Like
it was Craig Sager talking the whole time.
Yeah, like it was Craig Sager talking to Popovich, a couple of years ago, and before Sager passed away, like they had that back and forth where it was just like Sager would just try to bleed anything he could out of him. Popovich would never say a word. So you either get that side of him, then you get the Belichick side. We're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. We're here.
That's a good one.
We're here to talk about the Jets this week, okay? We're not here to talk about Aaron Hernandez. It's just that kind of Belichick. So you never know what you're going to get from him. I think those 2 guys in an actual debate over something would be just dynamite.
Because it could be 2.5 hours or it could be 8 minutes.
Yeah, it could be 38 seconds.
Yeah, one guy could literally just walk out.
Yeah. Never know what you're going to get with those two.
No, mine, boys, this is going to be like maybe a new way of getting tweets out. I think like a reporter like a Schefter or a Woj, if you want to get that take out first, you should have to debate how you got it, who has the best sources, and if you are found that you are the best one that has like the best reasoning for putting it out,
Shams and Woj
you get to go
in a Zoom call immediately when the news is out. Like I like that.
And then there's like judges, and like, oh, you
and it just
can
goes
put it out
immediately,
first.
like on Periscope. Just appears.
Boom! You can put it out first. No, you can put it out.
I like that.
I do.
Schefter going
because then they don't have to. They can't just get stuck behind all the Twitter and the tweets and stuff like that. They have to actually talk to each other and actually have a reason for like how they got their sources.
I like it.
I like that a lot. I've got a couple written down. I'm going to give what I think is my best one. I've got Kurt Schilling and LeBron James. I couldn't think of two more opposite human beings. Obviously, LeBron James, outspoken athlete, and is kind of out there with his opinions, and obviously Kurt Schilling has a tendency to show his ass sometimes. So those are the two I wrote down just because I cheer for chaos, and I think that would lead to absolute positively chaos is the two I would come up with. Does anybody have any extra you want to throw?
Yes, I'm gonna lean into your chaos one, and mine's gonna be Joker from the Dark Knight and Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. I want to see the two different approaches that both of those guys took, because like we said, Joker he came in with a lot of chaos, death from within, kind of you just kind of watch the world burn was his approach. Where Bane was like, I'm going to lead this revolt. We're going to, cut off the head of the snake. We're going to take all the economic wealth and power and just deteriorate it into nothing. And then we'll own everybody. And then we can do whatever we want, like drop a nuclear bomb or whatever they may want to choose to do. So I think I want to see those two ideals in a political forum where it's like, no, I want to take it this direction. No, I want to take it this direction. And then there's that mutual, the white elephant in the room of Batman and how they have to approach him.
Make Batman moderate it.
We're right, but with the Joker, his approach with the Batman is he kind of needed it. He fed off of him, whereas Bane was like, I need to destroy him. So it's that kind of aspect of it. I think is the criminal justice aspect. Are you going to take out the Bat, or are you going to let him? You going to let him roam? What's it going to be?
Not bad at all. The other two I had written down, one was kind of off of Zach's realm. I had Darren Ravel and Clay Travis just because those two.
I thought I literally thought about that, and that would just be
those two just big.
No winners in that debate.
No, and I've created my first meme based on those two. And the other one I have, you guys might like this: Tommy Lasorda versus Billy Beane. Just because you have the old school way of thinking about baseball, Tommy Lasorda is like the oldest baseball head I could think of that's still alive, versus like the kind of analytics side of baseball. Those were just the other two I'd come up with.
Tommy Lasorda would win that.
I got one more. Mine's also a Billy, and it's two of the greatest debate winners of all time that we've ever seen in the history of our world, and that's Billy Madison and Frank the Tank. Both won epic debates. Billy Madison against Eric, Frank the Tank against was it Dean Pritchard, and it's just an electric factory of debates with both of those two. I want to see the two titans collide. That's what
those are great choices. At no point during your incoherent rambling did you come close to anything that could be considered a correct answer. What a line. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. All right, boys, let's move on to the next segment. We've done this in the past, but we haven't done it in a while. This is I.U.I's Ideas Under the Influence. Zach, I'm sure you got a great lead us off, buddy.
Boys, we're about to go into off season for some sports, MLB. Why not Airbnb style rent out stadiums for people like us that just want to go play like a game with the buddies, a little softball pickup game, something like that. these stadiums like allow you to pick a day and you get to rent it out for so much money. It's probably pretty expensive, and then you get to go there and play a game with your buddies.
I think
I would pay a lot of money to go play at Wrigley Field just for one game for fun.
I saw that idea of yours when you sent over your list earlier, and I thought that was one of the greatest things I've ever heard in my life.
Okay, Zach, so this is an actual thing. The Myrtle Beach Pelicans in the Cubs minor league system.
I know it is like that, but I mean like stadiums
At
like
a
Wrigley
major league
Field.
Yes. No, I am all in on you. Or like if your slow pitch softball team wants to rent it out for a day and do a tournament.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That would be incredible.
Probably have to keep up on that would probably be pretty tough, but you can charge a lot of money.
Empty 82 days in the season.
Yeah.
You might as well, make some extra income out of it on days you don't have concerts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
I don't hate that at all. I will start. I was at not start. Zach started.
I was just about to say, I think I started.
Sorry. I have one. I was at a birthday party earlier today, and these people had 2 dogs at their house, and I came up with this idea, kind of Harry and Lloyd style. But why don't they have you can rent a clown or you can rent, someone to paint faces at a party. Why can't you rent like a couple dogs just to roam around a party? Everybody loves a dog at a party. Everybody, loves petting dogs. You should be able to, if you don't have dogs, you can rent a couple dogs just to roam around at your party. I think people would love it.
I thought you could do that.
I mean, have you found anywhere where you can rent a dog to roam around at a party?
I guess not.
That's what I'm saying.
I just feel like you should start doing that.
I really should. Me and Barkley are going to hit the road.
Well, you got to get multiple dogs. You can't just have one dog.
You're right. I'm going to have to get a couple dogs. I'm going to work on that.
Boomy's going to have like 4 dogs now. And he's like, well,
we're just going to roam around to parties and just charge people to let our dogs hang out.
Me and these 4 dogs were going to party this weekend.
I'm going to have to get a truck like Harry and Lloyd too
with the dog on it. You got to dress up like the dog.
Oh, definitely.
All right, boys. Mine is everybody likes to try to handicap sporting events, horse racing, whatever your gambling, sensibilities lie to. So where you're gonna go here is, I want to do like some sort of competitive gambling where it's like a tournament of everybody has an X amount of budget, where it's you've got X amount of dollars to invest and you've got a minimum of, say, whatever number of bets you have to make too, because you can't just load up on one bet. But if you're one that likes to spread your bets out, or if you like to consolidate in a few key spots or whatever, but you've got that flexibility. So after like certain cutoff points, like after 3 hours or after 8 hours or after 12 hours or after 4 days, if you want to do longer ones, I think there's got to be some kind of way that you can do like an actual like handicapping tournament where you can see who the the best capper was.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
And you can even make it like, remember the old picture-in-picture that was big back in the early 2000s?
Just give me Cuban.
Yeah. Just make it a little extra picture on the side of the TV, and you can see, who's got money on what. You can
that's
leaderboard.
That's whatever intellectual property at this
point. Patent pending.
Yep. I need an attorney now.
That's genius. I like professional gambling, the PGL, the Professional Gambling League.
I think we're onto something here.
We are.
Stroke of genius there, Maddie.
A lot of great ideas here tonight, boys.
We got a dog business. We got a dog party business. We got professional gambling, and we have stadiums getting rented out to play baseball games in. Man, look at us.
Think about it. You wouldn't even need like a gambling line.
Hey, look at us.
You wouldn't need like a casino backing because you're not actually gambling on the games. You're just using the lines.
But you could use those gambling like the companies as sponsors.
It's like fantasy sports essentially. Then.
Yeah. Guys, we're on to something. Maybe we should cut this and not air this because these are $1 million ideas here.
This is pretty much gold.
You may never see this podcast or listen to this podcast.
At least this segment anyway. Let's move into over-unders since it kind of all ties in together with our TCF top 3 that we'll have coming up after this. We're going to do a movie edition of Over Under. So, as a quick reminder, we will say whether we think the movie is overrated, underrated, or perfectly rated. And we're going to start with some classic movies, some of the highest rated movies of all time. I'm going to start with number 1, Shawshank Redemption, boys. What do we think?
I'd have to say properly rated. I don't think it gets its right due.
When it's uniformly listed as one of the greatest probably 10 movies or 5 movies of all time, I think it can't be underrated in that aspect. I think you can only be properly rated at that point.
Okay, I don't hate that. I'm gonna go just like I and this is just my preference.
I know what he's doing.
You're not gonna hate this. This is probably in like a serious movie category. This is my favorite movie of all time. So this is number 1. I'm gonna go just a touch underrated, just because I love it so much, and I honestly I can't even put my finger on it. Like I don't really know what it is, but it's just an incredible movie. I don't know if it's the narration, whatever it is. I love everything about it. It is my, outside of comedy or horror movies or action movies, this is my number 1 movie. So I'm going to go just a touch underrated because it's my number 1.
The one thing I've always liked about that movie is how memorable, like so many aspects of it are. Certain lines, storylines, sub-stories, characters, secondary, third, is it tertiary? God, I'm just dropping bombs tonight.
You got it.
Characters tonight. It's just, I don't know. It's so well done. The cast is phenomenal too. So it's just Morgan Freeman plays the perfect supporting actor in that movie.
That scene where they're all on the roof having a cold one. Literally one of the best scenes in cinema history.
It really is. It really is.
I'm going to go to my favorite comedy, Dumb and Dumber. And I'm going to say underrated just for the simple fact that in the last 10 years, it has started to get crapped on so hard, and the sequel didn't do it any justice. People are fading away from Dumb and Dumber. It's the funniest comedy movie of all time. It is underrated.
I have to go underrated too, because it really doesn't get. I think it's hilarious.
If people are fading away from that movie, I'm fading away from those people.
But yes, the sequel bad.
See, I didn't think the sequel was like. Yes, sequels are bad.
That's just one of those ones that didn't need a sequel.
That terrible.
My thing was they should have left it
alone.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah. Yep. And like Dumb and Dumber,
such a hard movie to replicate. Another one.
You should have just.
I love the first one.
In suspenseful movies, I've got down Jaws. Let me hear what you guys think about the movie Jaws.
Overrated.
I think nowadays it's very underrated. I think it's a classic for its time.
I'm not a fan of that movie. I'm not a fan of the movie.
We're gonna have all of them covered. I think it's perfectly rated. It gets rated very high because it was one of those first super.
It was the first shark movie of all time.
But if you go back, to me it doesn't hold up super well. A lot of the cinematography wasn't, was a little shaky to me. But it's a cool story.
Of course, it was shaky.
Yeah, but at the same time, there was other movies that came out that didn't have that issue, in my
memorable
opinion.
Lines again. There's a lot of memorability to it. And
I
don't know.
That's a good point. Well, we got all of them covered. Zach says it's overrated, and Zach, I do get where you're coming from. I am not completely disagreeing with you because I definitely understand. Matt, I get it too. I'm perfectly right in the middle. The last one I have is a more recent movie. Middleman Boomy. That's not usually me. I'm usually a polar.
I was gonna say you're usually being one way or the other.
All right, and I'm gonna go into this last one for over unders. The Dark Knight.
I had to say properly rated. I'm not a big fan of those kind of movies, but I feel like it's got to be properly rated.
Matt,
properly rated. Probably arguably the best or one of the best superhero movies of all time.
All right. Matt, you're going to crap. It is slightly overrated, in my opinion. I will say this. Heath Ledger's Joker is one of the best characters I've ever seen in a movie.
Agreed.
Whoever Batman did not blow me away.
I know where you're going with this, and I can see your point. I'll say that.
Was it Affleck that played Batman?
No, Christian Bale.
Okay, and I like Christian Bale, but Batman, if they had a super high quality Batman in that movie, it would be one of my favorite movies of all time. But Batman left a lot to be desired.
I like Bale as Batman in those movies. I thought personally, Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman
Yes.
that there has been. But I think that's probably going to date me as well. But I don't know. It's one of those things. I think.
Well, Adam West is the best Batman.
Well, okay. I'm not going to argue. I won't argue that. But, no, it's one of those movies. I can see your point. I mean, it gets a lot of pub. It gets a lot of hype, and I think a lot of it. I think too. I think there's a carryover that when Ledger died, I think it helped the movie in terms of, it sounds horrible, but when someone passes away, the spotlight gets a lot bigger. And
no, I was going to say that too. I just couldn't find the right words to. But like Heath Ledger
he was phenomenal in that movie. And it just became bigger, even so after he died, because he died. And it was like the timing of it. He died right before the movie was released, so it was like, it had the publicity backing from that, and so it was this giant light on a fantastic performance. So I could see how it could be taken in a overrated capacity for sure.
Right on.
Guys, can I just take a second here? The Rays just tied the game up.
Let's go.
And
I'm on a delay. Yes, there it is. Yes!
And won the game.
Let's go.
Wow, that was
unbelievable.
Insane what just happened. But did you see the catcher just drop the ball?
Dropped the ball. Did he fake it?
No, they had him in like a pickle situation, and then he I think it fell out of his glove.
What an ending.
We got a new series now, boys.
Oh my, Kershaw's just perplexed.
Kershaw's in for one tomorrow. Now that game is insanely big.
Thank you, Cardinals.
2 outs.
Rosarena. Thank you, Cardinals.
They were 1 strike away from going up 3-1. Now it's 2-2. My goodness.
Wild.
What?
All right, boys. Are we ready for the TCF top 3?
Yes.
All right. So because we will not put out another podcast before Halloween, we might put one out on Halloween, but we will not put one out before. We're going to do the top 3 horror/scary movies, just to clear up any gray area. Top 3 scary movies of all time. Do we have a volunteer who wants to go first in the snake draft this week?
I'll go first, and it's ruined an animal for me. It's Cujo. Ruined dogs.
Zach's not a dog guy.
I never really been a dog guy, but that movie, don't watch it if you're a little on edge about dogs, because it is scary.
That one's definitely a little jacked up.
It is a little excessive.
I'm speaking to the same writer, the same kind of somewhat of the same premise. It's Pet Sematary from Stephen King, and it's they bury the animals come back and haunt the people that buried them there, and they turn into these vicious, like, basically zombie animals, and it's just like, don't do that in my life right now, so let's just keep those things away from me.
2020 would be a wild year, but no one would be surprised with, like, animal hauntings,
Yeah,
let's stay away from that. Let me take everybody back to a year before any of us were born. 1978, the original Halloween Michael Myers movie came out. Jamie Lee Curtis, that is the GOAT. That is the all-time best scary movie. I can still watch it. I mean, it's been 42 years since that movie came out. They've made, how many spinoffs of it. They've made how many sequels and prequels and everything in between. Michael Myers, the man who can't be killed. The original, I believe it was 1978. Correct me if I'm wrong. 1978 Halloween. The original Michael Myers movie is my number 1. I'll wrap it around to the second round. I've got a ton. I'm weird. I hate Halloween, but I love scary movies. I'm gonna go with. This is messed up because I don't like these movies. I Spit on Your Grave. It is a demented movie.
Yeah, it sounds
It
like
is.
a bad movie, Boomy.
It's in
Shot.
like so.
I
Like
don't think you
hate-
name a movie that and make it like a comedy.
Yeah.
So it's like I've said this before. I hate the Saw movies. It's all just blood and guts, and like to
Yeah.
me that doesn't do anything for
Yeah.
me. But the story and I Spit on Your Grave, and trust me, there's plenty of blood and guts. But the I Spit on Your Grave is one of the most jacked up, scary movies I've ever seen.
The title says it all.
Yes, absolutely. It is beyond. I mean, if you have a sensitive stomach, do not watch it. It's wild. That's all I can say.
I won't.
I'm going
Matt,
with one
what's
that
your
got
second?
me. Like I think it came out when I want to say it was in high school when it came out. It was The Ring, and it had this creepy girl in the well,
Yep.
and she just you watch the video, and then once you saw the video, she would come attack you. So, premise and storyline is absolutely horribly stupid. But there was just a couple things and scenes in that movie that just like I'm never gonna get out of my head.
Yeah.
Mainly when there was like she's pulling like the hair out of like
Oh, stop it.
yeah, it was just
Yep.
All
When
right,
the girl
mine.
makes me
through the
sick.
TV.
Yeah.
My next one, it just ruined a whole day, kind of. Friday the 13th.
Yes.
I mean, this
Good
little fact
choice.
is like people dread. It's just a really weird day, and then also just a very, very scary movie.
Jason Voorhees is my second favorite scary movie bad guy. He is, I mean, coming out of the water, kind of like Michael Myers, can't be killed. They've tried to kill him many times. My only
Very
issue with the
scary.
Friday the 13th movies is that the sequels, and I'm not saying that the Halloween sequels were good, but they were better than the Friday the 13th sequels. And some of those, like Jason Goes to Hell, Jason Goes to New York, some of those were like insanely bad. But the original Friday the 13th, Zach, I'm with you. That is definitely worthy of a top 10 pick.
And
Good
then my
choice.
last one is It. The new
No,
one,
stop.
the old one, those are scary. I
Get
don't like
out of here.
clowns. I hate clowns. Those scare me.
I watched the first 5 minutes of the original It movie, and I haven't watched any more of it. I'm not a clown guy. Me and Zach are on the same page. Me and Zach's dad, same page. We hate clowns. We don't mess with clowns. And that movie, as soon as they showed Pennywise in the sewer, I turned it off and I can't watch it.
Yeah,
Scary.
that one.
Scary.
That one's bad, and this one's not ultimately that scary, but it just like makes me like unbelievably queasy and sick when I watch it. It's the Blair Witch Project, and it's the filming on it. It's like
Yes.
the
You get
handheld
motion
is
sickness.
bouncing. It makes me nauseous. So, if you need a scary movie that makes you want to throw up, that's the one to go to.
I'm going to wrap it up. I've got a list, and I'll run through some honorable mentions when we get done. But this is a movie that gets a bad rating when I looked it up on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. Urban Legend. I mentioned it earlier. It's basically a horror movie of all of the, popular urban legends of how people get killed, a guy with a hook and, any urban legend you can think about death, they incorporate it into a movie. And it's a cheesy 90s movie, but it is my favorite 90s scary movie. Do you guys got any honorable mentions that you did not get a chance to bring up?
One I always liked the storyline on was Final Destination. I always
Yes.
thought that was kind of cool. Where
And it has messed every single person up that is driven behind a truck that has giant lumber in the back of it.
You're not wrong. I was driving behind a ComEd truck one time down 39, and there's like a garbage can type bucket in the top of like the cherry picker on it, and that thing flew off, and I had to swerve out of the lane as it was coming down right on my windshield.
Oh,
I
my
just missed
God.
it. And so I had no clue what it was at first, and you could see it when it was coming down that it was like a garbage can. So it was pretty good size too. Not that
Yeah.
I want to hit it like 75 on the interstate.
That's
Insane.
scary.
Zach, do you have any other honorable mentions? You're not the biggest scary
No,
movie.
I'm not. I don't really like watching them.
I've got
I
a
get
ton.
scared easy.
Zach is easily scared. Matt, I'll take. And if you've heard any of these, let me know. Young Frankenstein obviously is more of a comedy, but that is a hilarious spoof. scary / comedy
The
movie.
Scream franchise was good always.
I was going to drop that one. That was
Yeah.
like the first one I remember I accidentally watched when I was like 7 or 8, whenever it first came out. I think my dad went to bed and it was on TV, and then I like didn't sleep for 3 days.
You mentioned it earlier. I Know What You Did Last Summer. The first one was pretty good. Yeah.
That was good.
And Jennifer Love Hewitt. So
and Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Two
doing?
absolute 10s right there.
Let's see. House of Wax. That movie gets crapped on a lot. Paris Hilton. It's not the best acted movie, but I always liked House of Wax. Have any of you guys ever seen that one?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre was always that was an instant classic.
And obviously, I was born in '90s, so like my favorite scary movies are like mid to late 2000s, early 2010s. I've got Last House on the Left. That was a pretty wild movie. And then When a Stranger Calls. That was like the old, like, that kind of goes into the urban legend thing where like the big thing is this girl's babysitting. Someone keeps calling her and saying like, you're going to die or whatever. And then they find out they trace the call and the person's in the house and all. It's that typical urban legend. But that movie really messed me up for a while. You guys got anyone else we haven't mentioned?
Anything with the mind games, anything in the head. Those are the ones that always mess with me.
Matt, have you ever seen A Clockwork Orange?
A long time ago.
Okay, that's one I got on my list. I need to watch, but I have not got around to it.
Very long time ago.
That's more of like a psychological thriller, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Okay, Zach, you don't got anything else, buddy?
No.
Zach's just
I don't like talking about it, really.
I could go on, and I'm just so weird.
Your brother's the same way.
My wife's a big horror movie fan.
Yeah, I've got Carrie halfway watched. I've never seen Carrie.
Enunciation.
Yeah.
You're better at it than me, that's for sure. Well, boys, that was episode 84 of Typical Chicago Fans. Thank you to the guys that joined with me tonight. Zach on Twitter at ZLiliaTCF, Maddie at schools_01. Follow me on Twitter at BoomyTCF. But whatever you do, make sure to follow the main page at Typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook, Instagram, type in Typical Chicago Fans. You can find us there. Head over to the YouTube page, subscribe to that as well for all of our video or all of our content in video form. Subscribe, rate, review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, wherever you get podcasts, we're there. Make sure you check us out on there. Make sure to also check out our friends at 26shirts.com/Chicago. They've got every piece of Chicago sports merchandise you could possibly want. Use our promo code Typical Chicago Fans for 15% off. Like I said, 26shirts.com/Chicago. Pick up whatever you need. Help out the podcast. Help out a great cause and get some great merch while you are at it. Boys, do we got anything else before we wrap up episode 84?
Nope, we will be doing a Bears-Rams preview on Monday's morning show, so make sure you check that out. We got a big day of football going on, but the Bears do not play till Monday night.
And we have our first ever TCF parlay going in
yes,
Sunday.
We do.
So technically Sunday and Monday, but make sure you head over to the Twitter page at Typical_Chicago to check out what our 4-game parlay is. We all pick a game and we throw some money in, and hopefully we come out a little bit richer.
We'll be doing that every week.
Every week
from now on. It's a cool thing. Pigway got the parlay for us. We throw a little money in. We'll let you guys know before game time. Before the noon game, because I think we have the Packers, and Packers play at noon.
Yep.
So we will be showing that. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Too, especially when we win. So, like I said, make sure to follow Zach at ZLiliaTCF, Matt at schools_01. I am at BoomyTCF, and this was episode 84 of Typical Chicago Fans. We love you all.
The Bears are 5-1.